All right, let's talk about Toast. The restaurant tech company just dropped its third quarter earnings, and wow, the results are hot. We're going to break down the story behind this incredible momentum and reveal how massive growth, major new clients, and a big bet on AI are all cooking up a recipe for success.
That's coming straight from the CEO, Aman Narang. You know, that's a super confident statement. But is it just hype? Well, as we're about to see, the numbers are absolutely there to back it up. So let's dive into the data that's fueling all this optimism.
And boom, here's the headline number that's got everyone talking. Toast has officially blown past the $2 billion mark in what's called Annualized Recurring Run-Rate. Now, this isn't just a one-off sales number. Think of it like the company's guaranteed, predictable salary for the year, coming from subscriptions and fees. In the tech world, hitting a milestone like this, it's a huge deal. It screams we're stable and we're here to stay.
So, okay, how does a company even get to a $2 billion recurring run rate? Well, it all comes down to a fantastic quarter, just across the board. So in this first part, let's break down the big wins that made it all happen.
You know, the real takeaway here is just how strong they were everywhere. This wasn't a case of one metric looking good while others lagged. No, this was a full-on tidal wave of positive results. We're talking thousands of new restaurants signing up, billions more in payments getting processed, and here's the most important part, they actually turned all that amazing momentum into real hard profit.
Okay, so what's really humming under the hood of this growth engine? Let's pop it open and take a look at the specific numbers that show exactly how Toast is pulling this off.
Now, before we jump into the charts, let's just quickly nail down that term we saw, ARR. Again, think of it like a business's annual salary. It's all that predictable, reliable income they get from software subscriptions and payment processing fees, stretched out over a full year. For a company like Toast, a high, growing ARR is pretty much the ultimate sign of a super healthy, scalable business. And this is where the whole story just clicks into place. Look at this. That amazing 30% jump in ARR year over year, it didn't just happen out of nowhere. It was directly fueled by a 23% increase in the number of restaurants using their stuff. And those restaurants, they're busier than ever, which drove a 24% growth in the total amount of money processed. See? It's not just random growth, it's this healthy, powerful cycle that feeds itself. Let's just put that location growth into perspective for a second. Toast is now the backbone for 156,000 restaurants all over the globe, and they are adding them fast. We're talking about 7,500 net new locations jumping on board in this quarter alone. That just shows you the sheer scale of their footprint in the entire hospitality industry. And this number, honestly, it's just staggering. $51.5 billion. That's the grand total of every single coffee, dinner, and takeout order that ran through Toast's systems in just 3 months. It's a massive testament to how deeply woven they are into the daily fabric of the restaurant world. Now, growth like this doesn't happen by accident, right? It's the result of landing huge new clients and really pushing the envelope on technology. So let's take a look at who's signing up with Toast and what kind of cool new tech they're building. And you can see a really clear strategy playing out here. They are moving upmarket in a big way. We're not just talking about your local coffee shop anymore. Toast is now powering massive enterprise clients. Think Nordstrom's in-store restaurants and iconic chains like TGI Fridays. This is a huge deal because these bigger clients are stickier, you know? They don't switch easily. Plus, they just signed a global deal with Uber to make their delivery integration even tighter, which is a brilliant move. And hey, for a little extra street cred, 14 of Bon Appetit's 20 best new restaurants this year, they all run on Toast. And this is their big bet on the future. Toast IQ. So what is it? It's a conversational AI assistant that's built right into their system. A restaurant manager can now literally just ask questions in plain English, like, hey, which menu items are actually losing me money? Or what were my busiest hours last month? And bam, they get instant, data-driven advice. It's really designed to be an operator's right hand, making all that complicated data super simple and, more importantly, actionable. Okay, explosive growth is super exciting, but it always leads to the big question, right? Are they actually making money? For Toast, the answer is a loud and clear yes. They've officially made the jump from being just a growth story to being a profitability story. So let's look at the bottom line. And here it is, plain as day. Net income. That's the actual profit left over after all the bills are paid. It nearly doubled from the same time last year. It jumped from $56 million to an incredible $105 million.
This isn't just them dipping their toes into profitability. This is a giant leap, and it shows their business model is scaling beautifully.
And it's not just about profit on paper. The company is generating a ton of actual cash. We're talking $153 million in free cash flow just for the quarter. That's way up from $97 million a year ago. Now, this is the real cash they have left over after everything's paid for. It gives them so much flexibility to keep innovating, to hire more people, and to expand even further.
So after a quarter like that, a real blockbuster, where do they go from here? Well, luckily for us, the company gives us a direct peek into what they're expecting for the rest of the year. Let's check out their official forecast. Okay, the single most important word you need to see on this slide is raised. Toast is so confident in their momentum that they've actually raised their financial outlook for the whole year. They're now projecting their full-year Adjusted EBITDA, which is basically a key measure of their core profitability, to be as high as $620 million. That's a massive signal to everyone watching that this performance isn't a fluke, it's here to stay.
So when you put it all together, you've got this surging recurring revenue, you've got profitability that's accelerating, you've got these huge new clients signing on, and you've got this clear investment in futuristic tools like AI. It all leads to a really fascinating question. With this kind of powerful momentum, is Toast actually serving up the future of restaurants? They're making a really strong case that they're not just a payment processor anymore, but the central operating system for the entire modern restaurant. And you know what? The numbers this quarter, they absolutely back that claim up.